For the last 30 days, I've been training using the MacroFactor Workouts app. So I want to talk about my experience with it so far. I'll be completely honest, when I first downloaded the app and I was trying to get everything initially set up, I was incredibly frustrated. I don't claim to be a tech genius, but I film and edit my own videos, I game on a PC, so I didn't expect to feel like a fish out of water when I was trying to use an app on my phone. When you first download the app, it's going to walk you through a process of, answering some questions, uploading some information, and it's a little bit tedious, but in order to have all the information, in order to build you a workout plan, it needs to ask you these questions, and then you go on to actually fill out all the information and select all of the equipment that you're going to be using in any of the gyms that you're going to be utilizing. So I go through that entire process, and the part that really got me frustrated was when it actually spit out the training program for me. You get to specifically select muscles that you want to prioritize in your workout plan. You can also, unprioritize some things if that's what you want to do, but I specifically selected chest for me. It's the one body part that I want to grow the most this year. I'm trying to hit a 225 bench, and it's been a whole process. You can watch all the other videos that I've made on that so far, but specifically in this app, I wanted it to make me a workout program that prioritized my chest. After taking the time to answer the questions, set up all the workout equipment for the gyms, it felt like quite a tedious process, but I kind of understood where it was coming from, and then it finally spits out this workout program, and I'm expecting something that's gonna blow my mind, which my expectations were probably too high, but the workout program that it spit out only had one set of barbell bench press, and there was no way to type a message in like, hey, I want to focus on barbell bench press specifically. I just was able to select chest as a prioritized muscle. So when I'm going over the program that it created for me and there's only 3 dedicated chest movements, I kind of felt a little let down, honestly. After going through this process and not getting exactly what I expected, I was a little frustrated. And when I say 3 dedicated chest movements, I mean 3 chest press movements. It had barbell, incline dumbbell presses, and something else. But I think where the problem lied is that it connects chest to anything that is also hitting chest. Something even like a lat pullover or lat pull down, it's saying that chest is an activated muscle. In my opinion, I don't think a lat pullover is what's going to push me over and help me get better at the barbell bench press. Correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments, but when I was going through the workout, I wasn't wowed. I wasn't super impressed, and honestly, it just didn't seem like that program is what was going to help me hit my goals. So I had it create me another program, and I was not happy with that program, so I had it create me another program, and I still wasn't happy with that one. So ultimately, I decided it was time to build my own custom workout plan. So you do have the option to do that, which is super nice. You can kind of just put in the specific workouts that you like doing, the sets, the reps, the RIR, all of that stuff you can completely build yourself. And I will say that this process was more tedious than the setup and everything beforehand. When you're actually searching for the specific equipment that you want to be able to use when you're doing a workout, it doesn't always populate with the specific things that you're looking for. For example, if you're doing a tricep pushdown, it's going to pull up a selectorized tricep pushdown machine. It's going to pull up a cable machine that is plate loaded. It's going to pull up a cable machine that is like the selector plate things. It's going to pull up all the different versions, and as you're going through and building your workout plan, you're going to kind of have to filter through all these different options, and you're going to have to search things in specific ways that make the specific equipment pop up, which was a little frustrating because sometimes I would type something in and it wouldn't even be an option on there, and you'd have to type something else in order to get it to pop up. And if I couldn't do it through that search, then I would have to just search through this giant list of all this different equipment in order to find the proper machine. And that's something important that you want to do. You want to make sure you're getting the right equipment for that specific workout, for that specific gym, all the above, because that matters. If you go and work out at a different gym and use a similar machine, but it's a little bit different, you're going to want to make sure you swap out that workout for a different machine, or that data that you're logging in there and the weight that you're doing, the reps and all of that stuff, it's going to be different on a different machine. The way that it's calibrated or the pulley system is set up, it's going to feel different. So you're going to do different weight, different reps, all that stuff, and you don't want your data to get messed up. So making sure you have the right piece of equipment for the specific workout that you're doing is important. And I do want to mention that the programs that it did spit out, it doesn't mean that those were bad training programs. It just means that it was putting workouts in there that I wouldn't typically do and I wouldn't think would help me towards the goals that I'm aiming for. Like I said, it doesn't mean it's a bad training program, and I probably would gain muscle using that training program. It's just not what I expected and not the workouts that I really wanted to do. So once you get the setup out of the way, you find a training plan that you are ready to use, and you actually get in the gym and you start tracking your workouts with the app. Personally, I think this is where the app should really shine, and I do think it shines very brightly in this area for the actual tracking of the weight, the reps, and the reps in reserve. So the RIR is very intuitive, very easy, and it works really, really well when you're actually at the gym, you're doing your workout, and you're inputting all the information. That part is super, super easy. And one thing that I've really come to like is the actual rest time in between each set. Once you punch in the information for your warm-up set or your first set or whatever it may be, it has this little timer that counts down. I put my music on, I'm just vibing, and then I can hear it'll tell me that the rest timer is up, and then boom, I hop into my next set. So it helps me kind of like flow through my workout as well. So like this whole portion of the app, I really, really enjoy this part of it. But in 2026, nobody is paying for a workout tracker when there's free options out there. So it has to do something else that's actually worthwhile in order to justify spending money on an app. So there's basically two reasons that people would pay for this app. Reason one is the training program that it's going to spit out for you, which obviously I had some troubles with. So, we're kind of working past that. But like I said, it doesn't mean that they're bad training programs. It just means that those specific workouts and the training programs that it spit out for me, I didn't think were going to help me towards my goals specifically. And then there is number two, is the actual coaching of the app. So what does that actually mean? So say you go through your first week of working out, you input all your numbers, sets, reps, all that good stuff, right? Now it has some data to go off of. You're hoping that following week when you go in the gym, those numbers are going to change a little bit. Maybe it's an extra rep. Maybe it's an extra, 2.5 pound plate on the bench press, whatever it may be. You want that coach to be giving you some input in order to get stronger and grow more muscle. Now, that doesn't mean that every time you work out, the weight should be increasing or the reps should be increasing or anything like that. It just means that over time, you're not sitting on this plateau doing the same weight and the same reps every single week. It has some type of algorithm inside the app that is telling you to increase the weight and reps at a certain point or at a certain time, or it's watching when the weight fluctuates for you or how many reps you're doing increases, and then it increases the weight in kind of like accordance with that. But it is essentially a coach that is helping you get stronger and build more muscle. That's essentially why I got the workout app. I wanted something that was going to push me in the gym, push me to do more weight, push me to do more reps, something that was going to help me break plateaus, something that I could look at and be like, hey, I need to hit this number. And I would push myself as hard as I could, whether I hit that number or not. It was going to be that coach in the gym telling me to do more weight, telling me to do more reps. So the question is, has the app actually done that for me? And in some ways, yes, and in some ways, no. So on specific workouts, I feel like it has done a really good job of just increasing the weight by just like a little bit or increasing a rep here and there. And week to week, you don't really notice it, but you're kind of just looking at your phone like, okay, yeah, I put this weight on, now I have to do 9 reps, or I put this weight on, I'm going till failure, or I'm going till 1 rep in reserve. And you're kind of just mindlessly going along. And, as you progress, you're putting more weight on, you're doing more reps, and you don't notice it as much. But there have been some times where that isn't the case. More specifically, the other day, I went to do hack squats. This is something I do twice a week. I know the weight that I normally do. I know the rep range that I'm normally going for. And essentially what I'm hoping for is slight increase in weight, maybe an increase in reps, whatever it may be. One of those two things needs to happen in order to get stronger and build more muscle. Well, I don't know if there is a bug or just something wrong with the app in general, or it thinks that I should be way stronger than I am, because 1 month ago, my hack squat was putting 140 pounds on, not including the base weight of the hack squat machine itself, not including body weight, anything like that, just going based off of the actual plates I was putting on the machine. I was putting 140 pounds on the machine. I want to say I did something like 8 reps with 140 pounds on there. And over the course of a few weeks, I feel like that weight was kind of building up. And then the other day, I'm going to do the hack squat machine, and it's telling me to put on like 215 pounds. I don't know if it was specifically 215 pounds, but it was telling me to put on over 200 pounds. Now, I don't know anybody that could go from doing 140 pounds for 8 reps to doing 215 pounds for 9 reps in 1 month, but I just don't think that that's realistic, especially with the progression rate that I was at. It's not like the week before I did 195 or 200 for the right amount of reps. I'm pretty sure the week before it told me to do more weight than I was comfortable with doing. I did less weight than it told me to, and I still didn't hit the rep range that it was telling me to aim for. And then yet the next time I come in and do hack squats again, it increases the weight from the last time, even though I couldn't hit that amount of reps with less weight. So let me make this as simple as possible. On Thursday, I go into the gym, first leg workout, hack squats. The app tells me to do 185 pounds for 9 reps. I know for a fact that I can't do 185 for 9 reps because just a few days before that, I did 160 for 8 reps. But I'm like, all right, let me increase the weight and just shoot for as many reps as I can do. So I do 180 pounds loaded on the machine for 6 reps. So that's all the information we need. That's the first set. I do 180 pounds for 6 reps. It told me to do 185. I didn't even load 185. I input that information, 180, 6 reps. The app kind of adjusts. It lowers the weight for the next couple of sets, yada, yada. The following time I'm doing hack squats, you wouldn't think that it would increase the weight. It would either keep it at 180 and try to build my reps up to the rep range that I'm required to do, so 8+ reps on the first set. But no, it tells me to do 215 pounds for 9 reps. So like I said, I don't know if there is a bug with the app. I don't know if there's something wrong with the algorithm that it's set up with, but that just doesn't really make sense to me. I will say that regardless of this issue that's been popping up specifically with the hack squats, I haven't seen it as much with any other workouts. When you do input a lower weight and a lower reps, the following sets after that will adjust and tell you to do a different weight and a different reps than it originally did. So it's kind of like it sees that you can't do that weight and then it manually adjusts. But what I would like to see is the next time that I come in to work out that it doesn't have some wildly high number that's way more weight in reps than I can do. But I will say that seeing a higher weight and a higher reps, it does push you in the gym, even if it's not the right weight that you should be doing. For somebody like me, it still does help. I'm adding a little more weight than I did the week before, and I'm trying to hit more reps as well. But imagine if you were a first timer in the gym and you're doing like a barbell back squat or something, and you end up doing way more weight than you should be doing. You could potentially hurt yourself, or it's deadlifts or anything like that where you could be injury prone and you're just not that experienced in the gym and you're kind of letting the app like teach you what to do. I could see how this would be an issue. So I'm hoping that they can come out with an update, or maybe they just need to like tweak the algorithm just a little bit. I'm not exactly sure what the issue is, but I would like to see that resolved in the future so that every time I'm going into the gym, there's not some wild number on the screen that I know that I can't hit. I will say it does give you a flicker of motivation though, to try and hit a higher number and do some more reps. I do also want to note that this app is brand new. I downloaded it right when it came out and I've been using it, ever since then. So this is essentially the first month that the app has been live to everybody. I know they did have a beta period before this to kind of like work out bugs and kinks with the app. So hopefully as time goes by and more versions come out, more updates come out, maybe these things will get worked out, and I definitely hope that that is the case. And I'm not sitting here to just trash on the app completely. I'm still very hopeful for the app, and it is still helping me get stronger in the gym. I've only been using it for 30 days, and I have noticed a strength increase. I am bulking, so I should be getting stronger, but I will say that the app is helping me get through my workouts more quickly, and I feel like I'm pushing myself harder than ever, whether it's telling me to do more weight or more reps. I'm shooting for it every single set, and I really, really am pushing myself, and I do think that I am getting stronger. So even with the issues that I've been having with the app, I will say that it's benefited me in that way. There are also some really cool features. It'll tell you when you hit like a PR or you do a new amount of reps. It'll give you like this little star with a ribbon to tell you that, you broke your record on this. So that is pretty cool to see as well. One thing that's cool about the app is you can filter through these tabs and these different areas where it'll show you how you're progressing on specific lifts, you know, the number of weight that you're hitting, your 1 rep maxes, your 3 rep maxes. And while these are kind of like averages and assumptions for 1 reps and 3 reps, 10 reps and stuff like that, it is still cool to see. And that data, it may change over time as the updates come out and maybe they kind of adjust things, because I don't know if they're all 100% accurate. I know that my 1 rep max for bench isn't what it says that it is, but it's definitely a cool feature, and it's great to be able to track every single lift that you're doing. It's also cool to see the actual muscles that you're working out with each workout or your entire program, and you could be finding out where you're lacking. Maybe you can throw some extra workouts in there for specific areas or whatever you need to cover. So I think the progression graphs are really cool, and all the different little features that they have in the app are super cool as well. So I do think that there are a lot of great things about the app, and I just have like these little issues that I'm like, all right, this needs to be fixed, maybe this can be adjusted. And overall, I think that if you've never had a trainer or a program before, this could be something that could be really beneficial for you to just help really push you in the gym, help with that progressive overload, help to build you an actual training program that is going to help you get stronger and build more muscle in the gym. Definitely not 100% satisfied with it, but I'm hopeful that they will make changes in the future that will improve the app. Overall, I think it's a really cool concept, and I like the idea of it. And I was super, super hyped when it came out. And don't get me wrong, I'm a big fan of Jeff Nippard, you know, aside all of the nonsense that you see with all the fitness drama and that stuff. You know, I love watching his videos and the specific workouts that he does. And I know he is not the sole owner of the MacroFactor workouts, but he is essentially like the face of the company. He's somebody who has a bunch of followers on YouTube. So you kind of look at him and you're like, yeah, that's Jeff Nippard's workout app. So I associate a lot of the educational and like science-based like identity of his content with the app itself. And I feel like a lot of it does show through. You know, each workout that you can click on, it's Jeff Nippard with a video showing you exactly how to perform the workout. And I think that's something that could be really beneficial, especially for new people in the gym, like I said, who have never had a trainer before, maybe don't exactly know what they're doing. Being able to see somebody perform the workout properly with good form and then trying to replicate that and then slowly using progressive overload could be a really, really good tool for people. And I'm also somebody who tracks all of my calories with the other MacroFactor app. They're integrated together, and I think that's part of why I may be getting these wild numbers, because I'm bulking right now, my weight is going up, so maybe it thinks that I should be getting stronger at a more rapid pace. But who knows? I'm not 100% sure. If you guys want a more in-depth review, maybe something that goes over specific parts of the app, if you have questions, leave them down in the comments. Like I said, I've only been using it for 30 days. I'm not an insider. I don't have an affiliate link. This is just my thoughts and opinions on it so far, and it's definitely not all sunshines and rainbows so far. But I'm hopeful to see what they do with it in the future. If you guys enjoyed the video, click on one of the other videos on the screen, and don't forget to subscribe, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.